Hey guys, CJ Will coming to you here today on August 15th, 2024. How the time just keeps flying by. Before you know it, we're going to be right in November. Alright guys, what I'm going to bring up to you this time is Trump and the American people have forced the Communist Democrats to use our policies, Trump's policies, in their campaign in order to get any votes at all. Alright, well, it goes way back. When Biden got in, remember how he cut off all the oil drilling, right off the bat. Oh, excuse me, that's my fried chicken is sort of screaming in the background here if you hear it. Yeah, it does this every day, but it goes back to the oil drilling where, Biden shut down all the American oil production and all this when the inflation started up and all this stuff. When he came in office, day one, Biden cut the oil production and turned back a lot of Trump's policies, right? He used executive orders. He cut down all this stuff. He cut the oil production and the drilling, and he came out and told everybody and said, well, you know what? Oh, I lost my train of thought. My son interrupted me, had to ask me a question. Anyway, Biden cut down all the drilling and all that, and then after, we were trying to get back to normal here in our country, which I don't even really think we have got back to normal yet. But Biden come out and said, oh, the economy's great, everybody's doing fine, and we're coming back out of COVID, but you know what? We can't come out of it because I got to kick it back in the teeth and tell you that, no, we can't have, cheap gas and all this stuff because of climate change. Remember that, guys, when he came out and told everybody and he made that speech and everybody was expecting him to say, yeah, we're coming out of COVID and this, that, and the other. But we weren't really expecting him to come out and say, but you know what, we got climate change. So even though you're trying to climb out of this financial ditch that you're in, too bad because we got to deal with climate change, right? Remember that. And we had to, $5 a gallon gas around here. And everybody was very mad and very hot and very pissed off. And, they came up with all these communist UN ideas and climate change ideas and all this stuff. And they were trying to cram this down everybody's throat. And then I guess about, I guess it might have been about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, where the Communist Democrats seen that everybody hated the Communist Democrats. You couldn't find a Democrat supporter anywhere. Every Democrat I talked to, every white Democrat, every black Democrat, every woman Democrat, every man Democrat, anybody that was a Democrat said, no, I'm not on board with this. They're killing us. They're killing our families. They're killing our country. We're in financial straits. We're so bad off financially and all this stuff. And everybody hated the Communist Democrats. And so they had to turn the oil back on and started drilling again. And then, as it's gone further and further along, they realized that, oh my God, we're going to have to back off some of our communist policies because we're not going to get any votes. And if we don't get any votes, then that means the conservatives are going to take power, and that means that we're going to be held accountable for our criminal actions in running this government against the American people and basically stealing the American people's prosperity. And, we can't be going to prison for the quid pro quo, for the, everything, Afghanistan, all the crap they did to ruin our country. And so they kept on. And then about 4 or 5 months ago, they started coming up and trying to act like moderates, right? And then, now what you got, you've heard them calm down on the abortion stuff because they realized that a lot of people don't like abortion. So they had to calm that down. They, Kamala Harris was going to nominate a pro-Israel vice president, but we can't do that, so we're going to get Timmy Boy Walls, and then we're just not really going to talk about it because we know that the American people don't like this Hamas Gaza crap that was going on. Most of the American people, the common sense thinking American people know that when somebody attacks you and kills a bunch of your people in your country, like what we got going on our border right now, that when another country or a group of people do that, then it's okay to go take care of business and defend your people, see. So they sort of quit talking about that. And now they've come up and now Kamala Harris is saying, well, we're going to quit taxing tips, right? Another Trump campaign policy that he's been running on. Now, we got them campaigning on Trump's policy. So even though it looks sort of like we're not winning, we're sort of winning. The only problem here is we are sort of winning by getting them to flip over and turn back on their total communist policies, but it's all for show. That's what this is. You know, it may look like, oh, I'm going to eat my words. I'm going to, backtrack in shame a little bit and admit that I wasn't right. And now we're going to campaign on some of Trump's policies in order to try to get some of the Trumpers to move over to us. But it's all lies. It's all temporary bullshit. That's what it is. Because if they do get elected, we're going to go right back to cutting off the oil. We're going to go right back to giving the EV car makers billions. We're going to go right back to trying to get rid of gasoline cars. We're going to go right back to giving Hamas and Iran and all these people billions of our tax dollars. We're going to go right back to leaving the border and everything open. That's another thing too, is remember the border, how it was the border, and now they're coming up and saying, well, you know what, we're going to fix the border. Kamala Harris is actually saying we're going to fix the border. Now, we know that when she means fix the border, she means absolutely nothing. It's just lies. That's what communists do. That's what these people do, is they just tell people what they want to hear, and then when they get in office, they just backtrack on every bit of it. Now, Trump, he backtracked on none of his policies that he campaigned for in 2016. When he got into office, he legitimately tried to get all the things that he campaigned on done for the American people. And he had a little bit of success, but you know, the man was under constant attack for the whole time he was in office. These same communist crap hole people were trying to get him put in prison for the rest of his life, costing him hundreds of millions of dollars in litigation and all this crap. You know, they tried to get him for campaign election interference and all this crap, but which they've been doing for 10 years because, you know, they've had the government, the big tech has been censoring and causing election interference for 10 years, but the government and the Biden administration finally got the government to get on board with that, and then they basically said, you know, hey, big tech, you got to censor all these people, our opponents, and all this stuff, and they just started doing all this communist crap. The only reason the government jumped on board with big tech is because big tech was scared that they were going to get sued into oblivion. And so the only way they could have an out was to basically say that the government made us do it. Well, the government didn't make you do it 10 years ago when you did it. So you're just a lying sack of crap. And so now, you know, when Kamala Harris, before Joe Biden dropped out, she was at 29% approval rating, the lowest in vice presidential history. And then Joe Biden, you know, somebody tried to murder Donald Trump, and, you know, the guy that looks like he sort of had something to do with it, he bowed out of the race and he quit, and then Kamala came along, and within 2 or 3 weeks, well, no, within a month of Trump being, you know, somebody trying to murder Donald Trump, now all of a sudden, all these big tech, the globalists, anybody that is in with the globalism, you know, the mainstream media, everybody's trying to say that, oh my God, now Kamala's up. Her popularity has doubled, even though she's dumber than Biden, even though her policies are way more communistic and way more Marxist than Biden's. And it's a show. It's, you know, I was on Facebook today and combating all these stupid Kamala supporters that have absolutely no brains in their head at all. And, you know, the Trump crew is out today telling them, look, you're just a bunch of liars. And then half of them, they put out these stupid talking points, and then when you get up there and say, well, what about this and that? Then they just, you know, say you're uneducated and you're dumb and you wouldn't understand, and they never give you an answer, and you can never get anything out of them, and they're just trolls. That's all they are. And so that's what you do. You just come out and you call them out and you just tell them they're a bunch of dumb trolls. You're just, you know, you must be sucking off the government teat, and that's the only reason you won't the Communist Democrat Party in, and they can't refute nothing, and they just go away. So Trump and the American people, the conservatives, the United States constitutionalists, and all us people, the Republicans, you know, the right kind of Republicans, we've all made the communist lefties move more toward the center. And the reason why they've moved more to the center, just in their rhetoric, that's all, because they're never going to do all this stuff they're saying. But we made them move to the center with their rhetoric because they know if they keep up all the communist crap they've been spouting for the last, 4 years, then they're not going to get any votes. And now we see how they're using, Act Blue and all these other Latino nonprofits and all these other non-governmental organizations and charities and churches and all this stuff, paying them to get out here and tout Kamala Harris and the Communist Democrat Party. And here's the thing is they're using our tax money to do it, because the American people, I mean, you know, there was one NGO that got $75 billion from the Biden administration to bring in and resettle and take care of these refugees every want and need. They got paid $75 billion. So that $75 billion that went out, do you think any of that $75 billion is going to go right back in to, you know, these are taxpayer funds that me and you and all the conservatives and all the independents and all the, you know, Make America Great Again people and all the people that love our country, they took our money and they dumped it into this NGO and gave them $75 billion. Do you think that any of that $75 billion is going to wind up in the Communist Democrat Party's hands in the form of political campaign donations? Well, sure. I mean, even if you just take 1% of the $75 billion, that's $750 million. $750 million of mine and your money that don't want to be giving out our money to support illegals. And then everybody's going to say we're against refugees. Well, no, I'm not against refugees if, you know, your government from wherever you're from is trying to kill you every day. But I don't think there's 120 countries in the world where they're trying to kill their citizens every day. I just don't believe it. So anyway, we're going to see. I think they're going to have to even come up with one more big plan before Election Day, because they love pandering and buying votes. And even if they don't buy votes, you know, they just come out and say, well, we're going to forgive you for your $80,000 college loans, all right? Well, if you're a college student and you don't really care about politics, but you sure would like to get rid of the $80,000 in school loans, then it's worth your time to spend 2 or 3 hours out of your day to go vote for Biden. Who knows? Maybe you'll win the lottery. Or, I'm sorry, vote for Kamala. And they've already bought off a lot of people coming over the border. See, you know, given people that aren't citizens of this country are not allowed to contribute campaign donations to a political party. That's against the law. Do you think Act Blue and all the Communist Democrat nonprofits and NGOs, do you think they're actually checking people that give donations to see if they are American citizens? Well, hell no. So that makes the donations illegal, and that's what's going on. So there's one more button that they can push to assure themselves that they get another 10 million votes. And what is that? Well, we can just come out and say, well, you know what? Damn it, we want to get reparations for all African Americans. That's what we want. And we're not promising we can do that. But you know what? As soon as we get in office, one of our first moves that we're going to make is we're going to put this bill up to get you reparations. Do you think a lot of African Americans are going to jump on that ride for the chance to win a lottery ticket? Even if nothing gets done, as long as they are saying it in these people's minds, just like with the student loans, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that I might be able to get this jackpot payoff from the Communist Democrat Party. And that's worth me just switching my vote over. Even though I'm all for Trump, even though I said I'd never vote for a Communist Democrat ever again, but they came up and they told me, hey, you know what? You might be able to get $1 million or $2 in, you know, reparations. So is it, you know, I can just go ahead and switch my vote here to them. Nobody will ever know. And this is what the pandering is. This is against the law. This is total crap. That's what this is. And see, they're coming up with all this stuff right here at the end. Well, they've been pushing the student loans for a while, but they're going to come up with all this crap right here at the end to grab people's attention and say, oh, wow, man, I might hit the jackpot. I might get a big benefit. I might get this. I might get that. It's worth it for me to switch my vote. Nobody will ever know. And you got all these African-American people out here in our country that swore they'd never vote for the Communist Democrat Party, the party of slavery, the party of the Ku Klux Klan, and the white supremacists. And they will switch their vote. They will quietly switch their vote. And you're going to see all them start switching from Trump forever to this Communist Democrat Party that will absolutely get them nothing. All it is a bunch of broken campaign promises right from the get-go. You know, I don't think they're going to do a damn thing with the border. I think they want to keep the border wide open. Because once the border is closed and the border is settled, now it's not a campaign issue. See, that's the problem here. That's why we can't never get it fixed after 30 years. No party wants to fix it, because then the bribery stops, the illegal money from the drugs coming in stop, the this, that, and the other, all the big money from the open border stops. And they don't want it to stop. Because once the border's closed, then it's not a campaign issue anymore, and they can't bribe illegals for campaign donations by telling them, well, you know, if you don't want the border closed, if you don't want to be deported, you know, that $30,000, $40,000 a year that we're giving you through the government, if you don't want that in, well, I'd probably advise you to donate $1,000 or so to the Communist Democrat Party so we can keep you here and keep that border open so you can bring all your family members in too. And give you citizenship and let you vote and give you big tax breaks and everything else. But right now, it looks pretty good because we're making them move their, you know, what they're promising out here. We're getting them to move the dial from their communist BS rhetoric. I mean, well, you know, honestly, it's not Trump or the conservatives. What it is, it's just America out here has realized how communist these people are. And they're just not willing to go along. And that's why they keep moving a little bit more to the center, a little bit more to the right on some things, just in their verbiage, to convince people that, oh, they're not so bad after all. Oh, they're for free markets. Oh, they want to have a secure border. Oh, you know, they want to lower taxes on the American people and all this. It's just lip service, just a bunch of lies to get people to move over so they can get the vote, because once you get the vote and they're in office, oh, well, we can do any damn thing we want now. All right, guys, that's what I got for you on this one. Hope you guys have a great rest of the night, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless and take care of yourself. You've been listening to the CJ Real Show.